the desire for revenge so that others might experience something like one's own pain, etc. The collective shadow is what has historically been labeled evil. In the Christian tradition, it would be the devil, and someone who's possessed by the devil loses his human quality and acquires a demonic nature. Our primary response to evil, for Jung, must be the quest for self-knowledge, for wholeness, which presumes the assimilation of shadow material. The individual must know relentlessly how much good he can do and what crimes he's capable of. When there is an issue known in a particular society, it can be called a shadow issue if there's evidence of denial, projection, and a lack of taking individual and collective responsibility. Therefore, taking responsibility morally, politically, and spiritually is particularly crucial. The courage with which we bear our darkness frees others from having to carry it for us. For instance, to respond to examples of massive historical suffering, wars, genocide, holocausts, pervasive oppression, etc., the effects of which persist. As human beings, we have much to learn in that regard. Denial, often connected with a wish to get on with things and put the past behind us, seems the most common approach and usually the first reaction. There are and have been many attempts to deal with difficult, painful pasts through public apologies for supporting atrocities, repentance, reparation payments after wars, pilgrimages to places of great suffering, etc. But how do we deal with the past in such a way that the integration of the shadow occurs deeply and broadly within a population rather than simply at a symbolic level through leaders or policies? Remembering and speaking what often seems unspeakable is inevitably a painful process for victims and perpetrators, bystanders and witnesses. Any such process can only be regarded as successful or reasonably complete once the pain, outrage, betrayal, suffering, and all other feelings have been voiced and heard, and once responsibility has been taken. Truth-telling is both the most desirable and the most feasible way to grapple with a difficult past. One example of a terrible mass psychosis represented by the collective shadow is Nazi Germany, where people fell into the demonic nature through the personal shadow. They joined the Nazi party and did worse things than they could ever have imagined or would have done under normal social conditions. In this sense, the personal shadow is the bridge to the collective shadow. Therefore, it is important to solve one's inner conflicts first, one's personal shadow, so that one does not fall into the collective shadow unconsciously. One may then later influence other people, and society would be better off as a whole. If we practice mindfulness, we will know how to look deeply into the nature of war and with our insight wake people up so that together we can avoid repeating the same horrors again and again. The war is in us, but is also in everyone. Everything is ready to explode, and we are all co-responsible. To summarize, we must first acknowledge our personal shadow and enter into long and difficult negotiations with it, being honest with ourselves and our interactions with others, watching our emotional reactions and exploring our dreams, in order to not become passive victims of our shadow and of our unconscious projections, allowing us to rescue the good qualities that lie dormant within us, which improves our lives and the lives of those around us. We can then be consciously aware of the collective shadow and not fall prey to it, and take responsibility to address the denial of important issues and a lack of individual and collective initiative. The courage of bearing our darkness brings relief to others, as telling the truth is the most desirable way to deal with a difficult past, rather than dismissing the atrocities and having the shadow grow blacker until it can grow no more. And thus history repeats itself.